To be a future franchise quarterback for a team, you kind of have to be employed by said team. And up till this point, Kenny Pickett was not signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That changed today. Officially signed his rookie contract. We'll talk a little bit more about that on this edition of Big Deke News. And also, will Mason Rudolph be traded? That and more, Big Deke News. The deal is done. Kenny Pickett became the last rookie from the 2022 NFL Draft to sign their contract, which is interesting because we knew a deal was going to get done. Kenny Pickett wasn't going anywhere, and the money is slotted these days for draft picks, so there isn't much wiggle room for the amount of money he was going to receive. It's not like the old days where Matt Stafford, Sam Bradford, they could negotiate any deal that they want, and they were coming into the league with more money than a good portion of the NFL veterans who were in the league for many, many years. Just a weird scenario, a non-story that wasn't reported on much, but I don't think it really should have been reported on much because we all knew a deal was going to get done eventually. Now Pickett can officially compete with Mason Rudolph and Mr. Trubisky. Sticking with quarterbacks, where are all these Mason Rudolph trade rumors coming from? Is it because the Steelers signed Larry Ogunjobi?
Aren't called. There were quite a few called, but they can look.
Dude just can't catch a break. That situation is a few years behind him, and then all of a sudden the Steelers sign the guy that pushes him to the ground, and now the video resurfaces, and it's something that everyone's talking about and gossiping about. Leave the man alone. We have our good buddy Jerry Dulac, who's actually become a staple on Big Deke News up to this point, say that the Steelers will probably look to trade Mason. Trubisky will go into the regular season as the starter, barring an unexpected occurrence such as an injury, and also says Pittsburgh will probably try to trade Rudolph so Pickett can serve as the club's primary backup this fall. Also, Steelers insider Brooke Pryor shared similar sentiments in her Steelers 53-man roster projection article, which is something I might have to react to in another video. Her explanation: both Trubisky and Pickett figure to end up in front of him on the depth chart, and Rudolph could revitalize his career if he is traded to a quarterback-needy team before the season. Rudolph has undoubtedly improved since the 2019 season, but his development will plateau in Pittsburgh because of circumstance, and he might be better off somewhere else. If that happens, look for 7th-round pick Chris Oladokun to earn that third roster spot. Then you have the flip side where Mark Kaboly is saying Mason Rudolph was the best of the 4 quarterbacks at OTAs, and labeled him a winner during that time period. So who knows what to think. But if Mason doesn't win the QB1 spot, I could definitely see a trade happening because then it's a little awkward. Where's Mason's place on the team? Because as soon as free agency happened, you signed a quarterback and then labeled him QB1 for the offseason programs in Mr. Trubisky. And then also, as another kick to the nuts, you draft in the first round a quarterback, Kenny Pickett, who is presumably the future for the Steelers. So where's Mason's place in all this? Where does he fit in? Especially with him only having a 1-year contract. Me personally, I wouldn't mind keeping him. And that's even if he doesn't win the starter spot. Maybe it's because I still have scars from the 2019 season with the Steelers and the quarterback situation. And that's why I think he would be a little bit more valuable to this team than a 5th rounder. It is simply because of that. If we lose QB1, if we lose quarterback 2, now we're down to quarterback 3. I don't want the whole 2019 scenario popping up again. On the other hand, I wouldn't mind seeing Mason get a fresh start and seeing what he could do, like with a team that would maybe give him an opportunity if things go sideways for their quarterback 1. Because pretty much right now across the board with the 32 teams, they got their quarterbacks in place. But I'm thinking of teams like the Lions or the Texans. Like if an injury happens, yeah, you obviously got to play your backup. But if things start going in a bad direction with Goff or Davis Mills, I don't think either of those teams would be hesitant to pull the plug and give someone like Mason a shot for the last 8 weeks or the last half of a season. And like I said, I don't really know where Mason fits in here. Brooke Pryor did say in her article, maybe his growth with the organization has just plateaued. Mr. Trubisky aside, if you're talking about Kenny Pickett and drafting him in the first round, he's going to get a shot at some point. You don't draft a quarterback from Pitt knowing that you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and not give him some type of opportunity. So that doesn't really bode well with Mason and his NFL career timeline if he does stick around with the Steelers. Ultimately, I do think a trade would make sense if Mason doesn't win the job, and I wouldn't view that as a slight to Mason. I would actually view it more as the Steelers doing him a service for getting him out of the Steel City where he would be in like a perpetual no man's land throughout the 2022 season. So that's it for Big Deke News, though. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of Kenny Pickett signing his rookie contract. I don't really know what opinions can be had for that. It's just him signing a contract. But also about these Mason trade rumors. Should he be traded? Do you want him on the team? What would be fair compensation, etc., etc.? That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.